Hi everybody, Mike Ryan here from Semper Fi Brands. We're the makers of Big Stick Bourbon, and we're here at Tobio Sushi in Katy, Texas, talking about our new drink. It's called the Samurai Stick. We decided to make a different twist on an old fashioned. We use Japanese black tea syrup instead of the traditional syrup, and it makes an incredibly smooth drink, perfect to enjoy with your sushi. So that's what we're having here today. We're going to give you the recipe on our Facebook page and on our webpage as well. So please look for it. One more thing to say. God bless our military.
Alright guys, today we're going to be making a samurai stick. It's another version of our Japanese old fashioned, but we're using the Big Stick Bourbon. Alright, and we're just going to start off with 1.5 ounce of the bourbon. Okay. And instead of using black tea syrup, we use our in-house made black tea syrup. About half. And top it up with 3 dashes of bitters. Now with this, it's really the point about the stir. The longer you stir, the more balanced it's going to be. Alright, finish it off with orange peel. And there you go, our samurai stick.
Welcome guys to the Push Power to Power show. Man, I'm just happy to be here. Hey, I hope you like the hat. It's warm, it's summer, man. It looks like I'm in Cuba, you know, on Florida wearing this hat. But hey, I got a lot of compliments from this hat. A couple of before COVID started, I went to a conference and I wear this hat, man, and I was like the #1 person. Hey, where do we get this hat? And then I got ideas. You should make those hats and put your logo. And I was like, it was just nuts. I was like, they gave me just a lot of ideas. But hey, that's just amazing. But today, man, I'm blessed to have my friend Michael P. Ryan today. And as you saw in the little preview of the Big Stick Spirits, that's the name of his company. He's gonna talk about that and a little bit about himself. We're gonna get through who is Mr. Michael P. Ryan, and I'm excited to be here on the morning, and we're gonna try out that Big Stick because I guess the last couple of days I've been like, damn, I want to try it because it just I'm a whiskey guy, so I'm like, it's about time I get to try it and let the people know what his story is about and everything. And I'm just excited, and I'm gonna pass the mic to him. Thank you guys, and as I always say, share it, and then that comes up to you from your heart. Go out there and share it so other people can see the stories, the struggles, the hardship of every business, especially right now with the COVID-19 and everything, kind of helping each other out and adapt and moving forward. And I'm passing the torch to you, sir. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you doing? Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
No problem. And man, like y'all can see, guys, we have the whiskey
behind me. Got our banner. Our banner is also our label on the bottom. We got our Big Stick. I made that in my workshop, also here in Katy. So when you go to the stores, if you see me at the stores in a demo, you can buy a bottle and grab a stick and take your picture. We call it our stick pic. And you can post it on Facebook. So
that's amazing. You know how everything started for you, and here, especially here in Katy, Texas, where we at, and the first question, I just wanted for you to introduce to the audience right now and let them know who you are, a little bit about yourself, and we'll get into it.
I'm an engineer by training. So in prior jobs, I've been CIO of a bunch of different companies. So my background is mostly IT, electrical engineering. I've done some work. I started out at General Motors, actually, working on the assembly line, put myself through college, and then just went on from one job to the next and greater responsibilities. Been in Texas about 35 years. Decided I didn't like snow, so I moved south. To shovel sunshine, as they say. So, anyways, it's great to be here. We've been in Katy about 20 years. My kids went through the Katy school district systems, and we love it here. And so, my friend and I were looking for something else to do. Sort of, a retirement job, because we're both kind of type A, and we're not going to sit still. I can't stay home. So COVID's driving me crazy because I can't go out. And the biggest thing is when I go to stores, I do the tastings. Everybody loves it because they just want to talk to somebody. So as long as you get in the door, it's pretty easy because people still want to talk to other people. and we can't neglect that fact. So what we did was really we were looking for what to do, and I came upon this idea. Everybody says, "Well, how'd you get started?" And I said, "Well, because my wife was nagging me." Actually, that's how I got started. We bought our house when we moved to Katy, and it had a nice little bar set up. And the lady we bought it from had to leave a lot of bottles behind because she was retiring and she wanted to downsize to a smaller house. So we got an inherited collection. And also from my travels throughout the years, I collected a couple hundred bottles myself. And so she said, it's kind of a mess. You need to clean it up. And I said, well, yeah, you're right. So I agreed with her. And so I started to taste a bunch of different bourbons and whiskeys and scotches, got the collection. And I decided at the end of the day, they're all kind of similar. And I just wanted something different. And the only way to get something different is either to buy something that's really, really expensive, and try it out, or make your own. And so I decided to make my own. And then Joe, who's my business partner, said, I want in. And I said, well, okay, I had to think about that because he's my best friend. And, that's always, it can be dangerous, trying to go into business with friends.
That's true. Or family.
Or family, especially when there's, money involved. So, that really caused me a lot of grief, and I had to think about that. And honestly, one day I was in church. I go to church regularly, and I was just kind of, praying about how do I handle this, because I don't want to tell my best friend no, because he wants in, really bad. And it's like at the same time, there's all these risks. You lose your own money, it's your own money.
Yeah.
It's one thing. You lose a friend's money, I don't want to lose my friend. That was more important to me. So, and then out of the blue, it just hit me. Call it Semper Fi Brands and donate a percentage to charity. And then all of a sudden, everything fell into place. And so what I did say about Joe, my partner, he's a retired lieutenant colonel in the Marine Corps. Marine Corps. We just say retired because they always say once a Marine, always a Marine.
I was Marine, yep.
So yeah, they're extremely loyal people. I love hanging out with them. They're great people. So everything clicked, and he happens to be an attorney, and I'm an engineer. So and as an engineer, I say, I'm just going to make it. It's going to work. And he's going, oh no, there's laws. There's the federal government, and there's paperwork, and there's insurance, and it's like, thank God. It turned out that's the best thing ever, to have an experienced contracts attorney as my business partner.
It's true.
Because, I can't tell you how many thousands of dollars is what it cost us, to get through the paperwork. Some people take 2 to 3 years to do the paperwork.
Wow.
And get federal approval. So we did it in about 6 to 8 months. So, and that was with the government shutdown. If you remember a year ago, before we had COVID, we had the government shutdown.
Yeah, we did.
Right. And so what happens when the government shutdown is all the federal permits to nix, nothing. You don't get anything approved because those people were sent home. At that point in time, they didn't have the technology to work from home, which means nothing happened. Absolutely nothing. So even with that, it took us maybe 6 to 8 months. We incorporated in Texas, and technically, what people need to know is, as a startup business, this is still probably the most highly regulated industry in the country, and mostly it's because they want you to pay tax.
Oh yeah.
They really don't care too much as long as you pay the tax. And then obviously because it's a food product, you have to abide by the labeling laws to make sure that everything's legal in terms of the product ingredients. And so that does take a while. And our label had to have separate federal approval. Every single word on the label has to be approved in a certain order. And even on the label where it says bourbon whiskey finished on oak staves, that has to be in the exact same size font without any italics or anything. Whatever you do, that's exact same size font has to apply to the entire phrase. That's specific.
And they have good morning, Brian. Somebody's here said good morning.
Right, morning.
So that's something. That's why I'm like amazed to learning about this industry, because you have to have that. I never thought about it. And then, like you said, 2 to 3 years. I'm like,
everything.
That is crazy. I mean, I think at those 2 to 3 years, be like, I give up. It's not gonna happen. And I bet you that there's some people that wanted to start something, and that's what happened.
And then to top it all off, we're kind of a rare breed. People are familiar with George Clooney, right? Amigos Tequila. Okay. So what happens with them is they're a brand owner. So as a brand owner, we own the trademark rights to the label and all the signage and all the look and feel and the colors and everything else, right? So that's our look and feel, even the bottle design. And we own Big Stick Bourbon. We also own Big Stick as it applies to the liquor and spirits category.
Huh.
So there's more than one kind of a trademark you can get too. So that takes time and more attorneys and on and on. But I mean, suffice it to say that what we are is we're a hybrid. We applied for the federal wholesaler license, but we're technically not a wholesaler because Texas, after we get done all of it, Texas has a different set of rules. So Texas is probably very strict, one of the more strict states. So even though we're a wholesaler, we have to go through another wholesaler. We can't, as a Texas-owned company, we can't sell our own product because we own the brand. So I could get a license to sell, Tito's vodka or somebody else's vodka, but I can't sell my own brand. So we go through a distillery, and then we have the license to own the brand, but then we don't technically touch the product. It goes to a wholesaler, which they've been great, by the way. It's ATX liquor out of Austin, Texas.
Out of Austin.
So they're fine. Then they have to send it to the Total Wines or the Specks of the world and the other liquor stores in order to get it on the shelf. So what I can do is I can go in the liquor stores and I can do tastings legally in the liquor stores, any place that's normally licensed to sell. So we can do that. But other than that, we're really
So that question where you said right now, sorry about cutting you off. So to get permit, do you have to get permission? Like go out there and talk to the owner of the liquor store?
Yeah, every liquor store is different. The small ones, the big ones. One of our fans is Herman Key owns Liquor Till 9 right here in Katy, close to the Walmart, and he's great. I walked in, and it turns out when I tell him our story, and he says, "I was in the Navy. I was in Iraq. He was a Seabee in Iraq." He says, "I'm in. Now what does it cost?"
Whoa.
So yeah, you find people like that who are retired military, and they're some of the nicest people in the world. They've really been very helpful, and people have come out of the woodwork to find us and help us, and even referrals through the Katy Chamber of Commerce and the Fulshire Chamber of Commerce. They've both been great to work with.
Man, hey guys, and I'm cutting off from the little interview, but I'm very thankful and grateful for my friend Christina Shiver. She gave me permission to do the interview here, and I wanted to do it here so I can connect him to her. And like he will tell you right now, just in a little bit of minutes, he went out there and checked out the business because she does woodwork, and I'm blessed that I have a big connection with her. And she's like, "Go ahead, I'll let you use it." And I just wanted to brag out her office. It's an amazing office. This is perfect to do interviews.
Well, and they're veterans too.
And they're and they're veterans too.
In the Army, and
yep.
In the Army in Germany, and they've got all the military flags hanging on the wall too. So
it's funny, right? That we brought you is the veterans, and then they are veterans. So it's how the world is so small, how we connect with each other, and just things happen.
Yes, I mean, my dad was in the Army. My uncle was in the Army. Going back years, I've got a nephew in the SEALs. I've got two cousins in the Marine Corps. One in the Air Force. Now, actually, she retired from the Air Force, and then the general called her back, and now she's with the Space Force.
Wow, the Space Force, cool.
Space Force, yeah, so I actually have.
Is that new? Space Force has been there.
Yeah, well, it's a subset of the Air Force. Yeah, but it's technically, it's different. It's under the command of the Air Force.
So we can get ready to go to Mars, right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So, and in the Navy, another retired cousin was a commander in the Navy. So yeah.
That's amazing. How through the lines of your family, military, and it's sad to know that how we see here, and not only here in Katy, but in Houston, when we go out there and drive, and you see those people out there asking, and some of them are veterans.
Yeah, been to Annapolis for the graduation ceremonies. That's beautiful. Annapolis is gorgeous. Yeah, lovely place. And when my niece married this guy who's the Navy SEAL, they did the full ceremony with the sword ceremony for their wedding. Man. So that was also a lot of fun too. Yeah. That's
right there is the best thing, guys. The experiences of everything that you do in life. It's yes, we might have a bad experience, a good, somewhere middle, you're sad, but it's just life. It just happens, and just take granted for that you're still here, you're still alive, and that you did something. I mean, look, like right here, I'm just excited. Like I've been excited for the past few days. I was like about to try it, and I know we got the ice with cups and ice. We're about
we got ice here.
And it's like mind blowing having, interviewing a lot of owners, especially right now. I decided to do this because we had to adapt. And like you said, it's getting crazy being at home and you're having, trying to
Keeps
go.
you focused. It keeps you focused. It's your passion. It's probably going to take us longer to get in the market because I can't do store tastings. I can't pour. People are afraid of COVID. And even if I just talk to somebody in the store, I've got to wear a mask. And I get it. I respect that. But we're not quitting.
Oh, no.
That's not part of our genes.
No, that's what I tell everybody. Don't quit on yourself, man. Find a way, just like I did, and I follow every other business. And I said, man, how can I help them? How can we, stand up together here in the community of Houston and help each other out and stand up? And through podcasts and the show and everything is getting bigger. And it's just phenomenal that's how we have to adapt, push ourselves and help each other out. It's not here about, oh man, let's see how much money we make. No, it's about how we can just come together and help other businesses. Some of them are already shutting down, as you know, here in
Yeah,
Katy.
I know. I mean, God bless them. I pray for them because I don't know what else I can do. I try to support the restaurants. Like you said, we've done the videos on our website. The first couple of restaurants that supported us, we came up and made a custom cocktail for them and did a commercial, a video. And so we post that on Facebook, on Big Stick Spirits Facebook page. People love it. They respond to it. So it's great.
Yeah. That's what I've been doing. If you've been checking out my page yesterday, I did a funny little video, but I was promoting another business of my friend. They do hardware. They work in real estate. They've been in 29 years in real estate. So like I tell anybody, if you need anything that they're master of their craft, I know them. I can, take you to them and so you can connect with them because 29 is a lot of years. They know what they're doing, the in and outs, and they own 5 hardware stores for anybody that are building houses or anything. You go there and it's just, you can get anything there. So, and I just did the little video and I haven't talked to her. And today we're having a meeting after the, oh, we're good. Hey guys, we're back. It was like a commercial. Hey, when you go live, guys, I'm telling you, stuff happens just like it's gonna happen. Just like live, it happens. So go with the flow. We're still here. And hey guys, I know I see a lot of people says right here, Joshua is one of my partners, says don't quit on your dreams. Don't quit on your dreams. Yeah. Right. And then he said the most difficult person you will come against is yourself. That's very true.
Well, I tell my kids that first you have to find do something that you like. Find what you like and just do it, and then just give it your best. And the whole point is as you go through life, it's a good life lesson. Whatever it is that you're doing, nobody's going to help you when you first get started, because what happens is you have to prove to them that you're serious about it. And if you're serious about it and they see you putting in the sweat equity, people will start coming out of the woodwork to help you. But you've got to take the first couple steps on your own. You've got to do whatever you want to do and work hard at it. And after you worked hard at it for a while, people will take notice. And then they will say, wait, I see you've been working really hard at this. What can I do to help you? People will step up. But you've got to put forth the effort first and show them that you're serious.
To make that happen.
And then it will come back to you.
Yeah, that's what I like. My number one vision is for the kids, because they are the ones that are going to take our legacy or the ones that are going to be the next president. So that's
important to you.
Yeah, that's like based on my story. And it's just like, we're here, why not help each other out? And as how we pushing each other over businesses, but we actually got to think about the kids too, because we're going through COVID, and all of this stuff. 10, 15 years when we get older, something else is going to happen like this. And then they're going to follow our steps. Oh, well, dad and mom were scared or they were afraid.
One thing that's happening right now.
hey guys, can y'all put a number one if you can see us? Because this is right here. I'm still live. It's still going on. They said I'm live and it's still going on. It was a misfunction. We're still here. You know, the internet and everything works here. But like we said just at the beginning, hey, things happen. Sometimes there's stuff that maybe they don't want us to make the show, but hey, we're still here. Things happen, and I'm gonna make sure that whoever's still right here watching, we're back. And put a number one if you can hear us. Put a number one if you can see us. And you know what? I'm gonna check on my phone. See if you can check on yours, see if you can see that we're still on live. Let's see. Go back to my page. Bottle.
I got an internet connection, but it's a little slow here.
All right, guys, as soon as y'all can see this, let me know. Because I want to make sure that we're still live and I don't have to start all over again because it says right here in the software, I'm still live. Still,
Okay.
The minutes are still going and I can put everything, but I want to make sure from you guys, let's see, I can't check here. All right, I see somebody's here. The viewer that is right here, can you please comment below that you can see us? Want to make sure that I'm still live because I know we just had a little problem with the Wi-Fi, but we're back on. It's still going live, so I want to get back to the conversation and want to make sure that we're just not talking to each other and it's not live and it's just telling me that we're live. Because I cannot see it through here. Oh, there's more people coming in, so we are definitely, we're definitely
Okay,
live. Yeah, we
let's
are.
go.
So let's go. I totally forgot where we.
All right.
You can go ahead.
So let's talk about the bourbon since we get to that.
Yes.
All right. So what we do is we take bourbon and everybody can see we make this. It's charred American white oak, and so why that's important is because that's the same type of wood that they make the barrels out of. So that's what the bourbon goes into. So instead of putting the bourbon in the barrel, we say we put the barrel in the bourbon. So we take American white oak strips from the lumberyard. We cut them down in my workshop, and I char them, and then that's what goes in. And so what happens is, I've got some samples here. You can see we take what's already good bourbon to start with, and here's an open bottle. And I hope they can see in the viewers, but this is what I call day zero bourbon. So this is when we bottle it. So we bottle it first, and then we put the stick in, and then we cap and closure and all. And then that's what happens. So it goes from a golden color to the dark brown color.
Wow.
Okay. And so if everybody can see that.
There you go. Look, guys, I want to make sure that you see this. See?
Yeah, turn it sideways.
Look at
There you go.
there you go. So the big stick is inside there, and look at the color. You can see the difference. This looks like pea. I'm sorry about it. But look at the colors, man. Like when he showed it to me, I was like, oh, definitely, I saw the difference.
Yeah. So that's really what sells. Once people see that, they get it. So the second thing we do is we have a special recipe, a blend. They call it a mash bill. Okay. So I did a lot of research, and you can find all this stuff on the internet. You just have to look hard enough. But in essence, there's really only 3 mash bills in America for a lot of these different bourbons. It's 51% corn, 75 to 77% corn, and then 99% corn. Now, bourbon legally has to be a minimum of 51% corn. Then the rest is usually rye grains, and then there's anywhere from 4 to 10% of barley, and that kicks off the fermentation process, and that's what starts making alcohol process when the mash ferments. So what happens is Most of the differences in the taste occurs by the aging process. You can age it for, in order to be called legally, by the way, most bourbon has to be aged like for 1 day. 1 day. Not 2 years, 5 years, 10, 2 years minimum to be called straight bourbon by law. So if it says straight bourbon on the label, it's a minimum of 2 years. If it just says bourbon, it could be 3 days or 6 months.
I didn't know that.
So in general, the rule of thumb is the longer it ages, the darker and more flavorful it becomes. So, in theory, 8-year-old bourbon, should taste better than 2-year-old bourbon, right? But there's also more evaporation. They call it the angel share. So it's also more expensive because when they go to dump it out of the barrel, there's less there to begin with. There's less product. So that's why it's also more expensive. They invest in it now, and then 10 years from now, you take it out and you've got 2/3 of what you started with. A third could evaporate.
Man, that you answered my question, because every time I go to the store and buy myself whiskey, I'm like,
Right.
I know that when it's older, it tastes better and it's gonna be more expensive. But I said, what's the difference?
So that's the difference. So it's also the pricing, and let's not forget the government. Every single year, bourbon is taxed, right? So 8-year-old bourbon is taxed a lot more than 1-year-old bourbon. Okay. So we even pay taxes, and we don't sell to retail customers. We pay a transfer tax. Even we're a wholesaler. We're a wholesaler, and we have to pay taxes. It's crazy. So yeah, a big portion of your purchase price is still taxes. And that's why it's highly regulated every step of the way. Every time you transfer it from one warehouse to another, odds are there's somebody having to pay a tax. So what we did really is, between the custom mash bill and the stick, what we've made is extremely flavorful bourbon that's not 10 or 12 years old. We start with straight bourbon. We start with a very good bourbon to begin with, and then the stick just makes it that much better. So for all the geeks out there who like, the engineering and the chemistry, in a white oak piece of lumber, there's something like 140 different chemicals. Just like you make maple syrup from maple trees, that's the resin. And maple syrup, they just boil it and thicken it up and get the water out of it. That's maple syrup from a maple tree. Well, likewise, there's also resins and chemicals in the oak tree. And some of those are called wood sugars. It's not sucrose, but it could be, the fructoses kind of sugars, or the dextrose types of sugars. And what happens when you cook, when you burn sugar, you char sugar, what do you get? Caramel.
Yes.
Right? So anybody that cooks, you get, and so that's what happens. And then there's other chemicals in there that are called phenolic acids, which are weak acids. And if you research this, you go to Wikipedia, a phenolic acid is the precursor chemical to vanilla. That's how they make vanilla for the grocery stores. So literally, when you char this oak stick, you get caramel and vanilla flavors. So that's what happens. So when we put that in there, and this is a funny thing. Legally, we can't say it continues to age in the bottle, because even the word age is restricted under federal law. So we have to say, it's finished on oak staves, not aged. So, and the other difference too is, if you go to the store for marketing purposes, some people will say it's a double oaked bourbon or a double oaked whiskey or a rye or whatever. Well, double oaked means that they take it from the first barrel, which could be any number of years, right? Whatever it is, it was brand new, charred American white oak. They put the whiskey in, they wait a couple years, they take it out, then they put it into a second barrel. But the second barrel they call vintage, and that means it's already used by something else. So that's why they say it's finished, because it's not a brand new barrel the second time around. Well, this is brand new oak. We're not reusing the oak from an old barrel. So we're starting with brand new. So this is like the equivalent of taking it from one barrel and putting it into a brand new barrel, a second go round. And that's where you get all the flavor and the color, because it's almost like starting the process all over again. And so that's what, and in addition, it's sealed, so you don't lose any from the angel shares, because once it's sealed, it gets all those flavors, but it doesn't evaporate.
Before we even try it, right? We go out and try it. Can you tell us a little bit about that story? Why you named it Big Stick?
Big Stick. Oh yeah. Well, okay. So I had to do a lot of taste tests, and we did a lot of experimentation. And the good news about starting this business is you get to drink all your failures. So it was okay. So we're at home one day, and my son was home from college with all his fraternity brothers. And so I was doing tastings for anybody that would talk to me. Here's all experimental. You come over to my house, sit down at the counter, and let's do this tasting. And they all started joking about what name should we call it, because we had no idea. We didn't want to call it like something foo-foo name. Yeah, right.
Something different.
So it had to be different, and also had to reflect the character of the owners, right? So we really decided that, and the college kids are obviously they're joking about whiskey stick. So no, we're not going to call it whiskey stick, but maybe we just call it big stick. Keep it simple. It's a big stick. That's what it is, and Joe and I, him being the Marine and me being the engineer and, the businessman, neither of us is shy. And so we kind of thought about big stick makes sense, and then also in the bottle, it says, go big or go home. That's our motto, go big or go home, because neither of us is shy. So everything about this is meant to convey bravado. That's the magic word. It's just bravado. We're trying to be strong. We're trying to say that we're different. And then also, we come right out, even on the label, we say a portion of proceeds donated to military charities. Because, that really it's a two-found mission. One is to make great bourbon because we want to do that for ourselves. And then secondly, to give back to people that we think are worthy of, being honored. So that's how we came up with Big Stick. Yeah. And it fits. And let me tell you what, finding this, it took about 6 months of research just to get the right bottle design, because nobody else has this design in this bottle. It's pretty amazing. As it turns out, the engineer in me, this is a highly efficient bottle. It's tall, it's square, it fits in a condensed case. You could ship more bottles per pallet, all kinds of stuff. So lots of unique advantages, and it's not too tall. We actually measured it to make sure it would still fit under the standard shelf size in the liquor store.
Did you do that on the bottle? Like how do
everything? I got the engineering drawings. I got a tape measure. I went to different liquor stores, and I probably looked like an idiot measuring shelf space. I don't care.
Hey, no, but you were trying to, this is whiskey's gonna be here, so I'm gonna make sure that
that's right.
Fits there.
How many inches between each bottle on the shelf did they allow? And that kind of thing. So yeah, I did all that.
Oh yeah, and there's one thing that I want them to know, in the industry that you told me when we talked in that meeting we had at Starbucks, how it works in different states. That when you do the wholesaling thing, and some states,
every state is different. Yeah. So the hard part about getting in as a small entrepreneur is that if we wanted to, like for Texas, we can't sell because we're considered a non-resident seller. Even though I live here in Texas, I incorporated the company in Texas. Our permit legally is a non-resident seller. So we have to go through a wholesaler to get it to the retailer, to get it to the customer. In other states, like in Florida, we can get a wholesaler permit, but the laws are skewed against small businesses. Still, in Florida, we'd have to pay $4,000. And to get a wholesaler's permit in Florida, we could have our own warehouse, but we still can't sell our own brand. So there's this inherent, you want to call unfairness or whatever in the laws. They're skewed towards the larger companies. So again, we have to have a minimum of $100,000 of inventory in stock of someone else's brand before we can carry our own brand. Wow. So because they just don't like the small startups in the liquor business, they definitely prefer the bigger companies. So it is hard to get there one at a time. So what we decided to do is focus on Texas first. And it's really the strategy is just the ink spot strategy. Start in one part of West Texas or East Texas, West Houston, and then expand from there. And then as we grow, people hear about us like on the podcast, and we get calls from Austin, Dallas, San Antonio, Galveston. We're getting calls and responses on the internet and say, hey, you want to help us get in these other stores? Go talk to the store manager. And even some of the Total Wines and Spec stores, believe it or not, some of those store managers have a lot of freedom to suggest that that's what they want to carry on their shelves.
Oh, that's nice.
So
because it's a bigger company, specs, and
it's not always necessarily corporate driven. So when we first started, we got into one store, Total Wine, here in town, and then I went to talk to a couple other managers, and they said, "Yeah, we're in 2." So now we're in 3 Total Wines. Things like that. So it's just you just have to, like I said, just keep pushing. Got to keep pushing.
Yeah, never
So-
give up on just
Never give
because
up.
those stores are gonna say no, no, no. But there's always some of them that are gonna
Yeah.
say yes, yes. It's that hard. That's when you jump in and you gotta be ready for all
Right.
those.
So building a brand is a friend of mine who is president of another whiskey company had said, you build a brand one drink at a time, and so that's what you got to do. So instead of trying to raise millions and millions of dollars and go national, we said let's just build it one drink at a time, start locally. Everybody that tastes it loves it. They love it. I mean, I'm batting 1,000 when it comes to if I was allowed to do a real tasting, I'd sell out everywhere I went.
Man.
I've done before COVID started. We just got into the stores before COVID, and I was doing tastings. We're selling out everywhere we went. We're selling out.
That's how Sayo went to popped in and
Yeah.
I saw your page and then all the pictures and I was like, oh, so he's going through all this.
Yeah.
So my question is like, whoa,
And then when we had that little dip a month or so ago, we got some stores in Kingwood. I went to Kingwood and I advertised on Facebook, hey, we'll be doing tastings in Kingwood. Sold out. One afternoon, sold out. So so it's good.
that's amazing. Especially that that industry is so huge that there's probably gonna be, I don't know now, like you were telling me somewhere
Yeah.
in August there was like a conference of all of those stuff. So either they gonna have it or not, but I mean the industry is always gonna push it.
So we just have to forge our own path. That's what we're doing. Staying true to our mission, and just pushing ahead one step at a time. One other thing I did want to tell you is we're going to do our tasting right now. Yeah, let's do our tasting. Okay. So let me start with just a regular glass. We've been disconnected, so the ice started to melt.
Oh.
So I'm going to give it to you straight. But this is generic bourbon. This is not ours. This is just brand X
It's brand X.
from the store. It's inexpensive, and this is similar to what you'd find anywhere.
Anywhere.
And not to knock competition, it's great for mixing. You want something, low budget. That's great for mixing. So go ahead, give her a try. Tell us what you think.
It's not easy.
Not
It's
yet,
just the
not yet.
generic guys.
So we're doing this just to wet your whistle. So it should be kind of light.
Yeah.
Maybe just a little taste of vanilla or caramel.
Yeah, you can taste like at the end a little bit of
Just a little bit, right? And you inhale, you get a little bit. Okay. Now there should also be, you got a little burn going down.
Yeah.
So,
Oh yeah.
right.
I
Okay.
can feel it.
So now let me tell you what, women are a secret target market. Not so secret anymore because women love this because the secondary effect of putting the stick in the bottle is it filters out all the harshness and all the burn. So that's different. And so what we decided to do also, you probably can't read it from here, but even 95 proof is symbolic. Everything is symbolic on this label. These colors are right from the Marine Corps uniforms, the red, the blue, and even the gold is the exact match for the uniform colors. But 95 proof on the bottom signifies that we're donating 5% to charities. So even that, so it's not 80 proof. What you tasted was 80 proof. Okay.
95.
So this is 95. Okay. So, and like I said, everywhere I've done these, people have said, wow, this is great. So what, hopefully you'll get more flavor and not any kind of a burn. All right. So give that a go.
Okay, guys, see the camera now. This is the big stick.
That's the big stick.
So,
Because you have to have a reference. You need something to compare it to.
Ooh, yeah. From what I drank, the first one to yours,
Mhm.
oh yeah, you can feel the difference. And since it's 95% proof, you can feel that it's stronger, and you can feel that taste too. That's why when you just like drinking wine, but it's whiskey, but still you can feel
Right.
that taste.
It's got a lot more mouthfeel. And with the resin, being in the bottle and staying in the bottle, it should also have a more lingering effect. So you should continue to taste
Yeah,
the
I
whiskey after it goes down.
And
So more on the outside of your tongue and the back of your tongue.
I can feel it. Yeah, and it's not as burning as the first one.
You don't get the burn going down. Right.
This one is not the burning; it's just the after effect of the taste.
So you get a little bit more caramel flavor, vanilla, maybe a little honey.
Yep.
Yeah. And a whole lot less burn, right?
Less burn. Man,
Big difference.
Big difference.
Big difference.
Ooh. And I know some of you like you're big whiskey drinkers too. You would love it. And I'm a whiskey drinker, so I love it. Anything that has to do with bourbon, I gave up on tequila.
So yeah.
No, that was in my younger age, in college and all that stuff. That just
Well, maybe someday we might do a tequila. That's one of the things on our wish list.
that's good. Yes.
So, but you can see, obviously, it's very different. It's unique. It's 95 proof, so it's stronger than most. At the same time, a lot of women love it. And when I did taste tests with women, they said this is probably the first and only whiskey I'd ever drink with my husband or my boyfriend because of that. Because they all say, wow, that's not like what I expected.
No.
At all.
And it's true because, I buy Jim Beam and all of those big brands of whiskey, and I just still have the taste. It's way different because when you buy whiskey, it's like almost the same taste.
Right.
It could be just.
So if I was to give you a brand X again, you'd probably go, oh, no thanks.
No,
No.
I prefer this. It's just smooth. You could taste it, and that was just a little shot. Imagine
That's
if you had ice and just let it sit down just for a couple of minutes.
Oh yeah, it's dangerous. 2 or 3 shots of this, and you're not going anywhere. Yeah.
Oh yeah, no. Man, this is just amazing how
Good, huh?
Very good. The idea, of like your wife told you, you gotta make it your own.
Right.
And you just went and jumped in and look, we're here and you're doing it.
So yeah, we're giving it a go. And what we found out again, when people show up to help you out, this is what happens. If they can see this, you want to show it. So we found a friend of a friend does engraving, custom engraving, and so we started doing that. Okay, so we started doing engraving for customers, and it can be for a corporate gift or whoever you want. Right now, it's a minimum 1 case order, but you got the Semper Fi.
So say if you want to give it to your wife, they can engrave that your name or to a company. The other one has the name of the company.
Yeah.
As a gift or anything. This is cool.
So and the way that works again legally is you buy it from the liquor store, and then we arrange with the engraver to engrave it after the fact. So again, the whole point is that we can't touch the product because we're not allowed to do retail. So we obey the law. You buy it from a liquor store here in Texas, and then we arrange for the engraver to do that after it's because then you paid the taxes, made a legal purchase, and everybody's happy.
And that's cool right there because this us we're doing the podcast. You trying to grow and adapt, and you're like, well,
Right.
I'm gonna buy a couple of bottles, some for myself, and then be like, okay, I'm gonna engrave this and
Right.
send it to somebody. Like the name of the show is called The Push Power to Power. You push and power to somebody. You send it to them because you're going ahead of the people that the what's it called the gatekeepers. So you send it straight to the whoever is the owner or anything.
Right.
They're gonna be like, whoa, what is this?
And it's kind of a nice appeal because right now it is only available in Texas, and so that is kind of special. It's not your average bourbon, that's for sure. It's very different.
Only in Texas.
Only in Texas right now. So if you want it in other cities, then please talk to your local liquor stores. They can find us online and all. But I wanted to get in one more thing. One of the charities we supported, we gave some money to in the beginning of the year is called Marine Corps Law Enforcement Foundation, mc-lef.org. And we don't take money directly for charities, but we put a button on our Facebook page that says if you want to donate, you can click this button, go to their website, and you can donate money as well. So not only are we donating a portion of our proceeds, okay, even with the first bottle, right now we're not making a profit, we're just getting started. But we decided even if we make proceeds, regardless of profit, we're going to donate. So from the first bottle, we're donating money to charity. So the next one up was supposed to be Kingwood Fallen Heroes. And unfortunately, because of COVID, they just canceled it. But kingwoodfallenheroes.org. And it was canceled this year because of COVID. But in honor of these people, I want to at least read their names.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So this is in honor of 3 people that passed away from Kingwood, honoring Sergeant Brandon C. Burry, Sergeant Bill Mewson, and Lance Corporal Luke C. Yepson. So I want to make sure that everybody knows their names and they heard this online. We're going to do it next year. So we'll do it again, kingwoodfallenheroes.com, www.kingwoodfallenheroes.com, or kingwoodfallenheroes@gmail.com. and they benefit. They divvy up the proceeds to Blue Star Mothers of America, Creative Vets, Hope for Warriors, and the Gary Sinise Snowball Express Foundation. So all this, goes to good causes. What Joe and I decided to do is, every 6 months or so, we pick a new charity. So that's his job. So we'll pick someplace new, to donate money to for the fall, and we'll just keep moving on.
That's really good. That's what it is about, give something that you're helping somebody. Like you just said, I'm barely starting. I haven't seen a lot of profit, but it's still helping.
Yeah, it's more important to do the recognition right at this point in time.
Yeah. It's like I always say, like I learned now that it's like sometimes you think, yes, it's your business, you want to grow it, but sometimes it's like I want to recognize everybody else, the support of everybody else that's supporting me, supporting it, that I'm doing the whiskey and everything, and giving those shout outs to them. It makes them feel great and better.
Right.
Like, whoa.
And it does work. And I started my pitch at the different chambers of commerce, and they started talking to me, and the people at both the Katy Chamber of Commerce and also Fulshire Chamber of Commerce, right? Less than 3 days later, after I talked to them, I got a call from a Houston Chronicle reporter, and a week later, we're in the Houston Chronicle, and with an ad about Katy Born, Big Stick Bourbon supports veterans charities. So, I mean, that's how it happens. You go out and you work hard, you do your best. Next thing you know, somebody finds you, and
Yes.
and you have media and publicity and press, and
Yes.
and that's the idea.
And we're both here telling you guys it's not an overnight success. It's stuff that it's hard, wet. Sometimes, like he said, he's getting tired of being at home because of COVID and can't do this. And he's still not giving up. He has to find out a way of motivating himself and be like, this ain't over, man. Not even a little
Yeah,
dot.
yeah. It takes a while to build a brand, like I said, and we can still do just fine where we're at, and we are growing. Some of the stores have gone from ordering 1 case to 2 cases to 4 cases. So they're even with COVID, they're doubling or tripling their orders. So we are doing some good, and hopefully the podcast will lead us to more cities in Texas.
And this is not going to be the last podcast we do. We're going to do some more. Even we'll probably eat somewhere and we'll do a small little 15-minute podcast. Just giving you a head or maybe like little giveaway that he might do or anything. This is not the
Sure.
first time. This is just the beginning of introduction and telling you he's here in Katy. He has his Big Stick Bourbon whiskey and it tastes good. I can still taste it.
See, there you go.
It's
That's the
nice.
difference.
Mhm.
That's the difference.
That
It got
was
a
one-
really nice aftertaste.
That was one of the questions that I had, like I always ask myself, since you're only in Texas, will you push it in cases, like in pallets when you sell it to the stores?
Well,
Or
most
maybe
of the time, yeah, there's a case price. Okay, some of the smaller stores will only want to buy 6 bottles, and so there's potentially it could be a slight breakdown price if they only buy half a case. But in general, what I tell the stores, if you buy at least a case, then we'll put that on our website. Even the stores that buy 6 bottles, we put them on our website. We try to promote everybody in every market as best as we can.
Yeah, because he helps both of you. And
Right.
They already have it in their store. They can sell it.
But that's up to ATX. ATX is the wholesaler, so they really determine whether or not people get this. We don't really determine that. We set the overall price where we want to target, and then we set the price that we sell to them at a lower level, and so they make a little margin, and they're responsible for warehousing, delivery, and record keeping.
And then that's where you click in the profit for yourselves, right? There.
So
numbers
yeah.
game.
So we really, we have to take hands-off approach to, pricing and incentives. It's kind of crazy, even with, T-shirts, and we have Yeti, cooler stickers, but by law, I can't give that to anyone who's under 21 because that could be liquor
Yes,
advertising to a
that's-
minor, even if it's a sticker on a koozie, So
That's crazy, right? Because
Yeah.
you have so many, and you're like, I'm gonna give it to him. And they're
So-
16. And
if you notice, like every website like ours says the first thing that happens is,
Yeah.
are you over 21?
you're over 21. Yep.
So there is a presumption of the fact that we're checking people for over 21, even just for advertising, even though we can't sell anything. We can't sell anything. We're advertising something that's going to be sold by someone else. We still have to do at least a courtesy check to make sure they're over 21.
Make sure they're over 21. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm telling you guys, this.
So yeah, highly regulated. So it you know, like I said, it's good to have a partner who's a lawyer who reads all the fine details and make sure we do everything by the book. Yeah,
And that's crazy. That's what it does. My next question
That's what it
is
takes.
how it ended up that you're an engineer and he's a lawyer. And that's something that is a small percentage with partners that would happen. Like,
yeah, it's just the right skill sets.
and he's
So-
there to help you put it down, and it took you that much time because you had him doing the work.
Yeah. So yeah, and once you file as a corporation in Texas, if you have your sales tax permit, I mean technically we have 0 sales, right? But we still have to file every quarterly permit, type. Do you have to owe any sales tax? It's like no, because we're selling bourbon, but we're not selling the bourbon directly. The liquor stores are selling the bourbon, so they collect the sales tax. So because we're a wholesaler and we have the business, we still have to file those forms, even if it's a 0 tax owed, kind of a thing. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff that we have to do in the background for paperwork that no one else would even know about.
So that's just nice.
Yeah.
That's you're ready, out there, and you want to learn more about the industry. I mean, that's where it is. It takes a lot of guts and a lot of studying and seeing. It's not easy. It's just like everybody sees.
Right.
Like, oh man, you just make it, but the back end, the paperwork,
it's
how much,
tough.
like you said, 2 to 3 years. People are like, hell no, I'm not gonna wait for the 3
And
years.
everybody's got to fit into one neat little square package. Either you're a retailer or a wholesaler. And the other thing on the forms you need to know about this is that both as a family member can own a different tiered type of business because that's a federal offense.
That's
so,
a
yeah,
fed-
yeah, so it's really.
Wow.
So if my kids inadvertently decided to invest in a liquor store, I would have to give up my permit. So
Wow.
that doesn't count the stock market.
The stock, yeah.
Public stocks, right? But
Still
yeah,
though,
they can't go out and start a liquor store as my cousin or my brother-in-law or anybody. And then because they would think that we're colluding to put our bourbon in their store and give preferential treatment for pricing. So can't do any of that. So and that's part of. I swear under oath that
you're this and this and this, and you know that because you got into it.
Yeah.
You know that you're not gonna take the other route and be like, oh, no one's gonna know. They're gonna know.
Yeah, it's not worth the hassle. Just find out what the law is and just stick to it and live a simple life.
Live a simple life, yeah.
Yeah, so
Oh man. And I know all of the little cuts out we had, guys, but thank you for the people that comment and do not give up and pushing your dreams and everything. Just keep on doing that. I know it's tough and hard right now with the situation that we're going through, but I mean, like I always say, it happens. 1918, 1920, they went out through the Spanish flu or whatever it was, and look where they at. This is the time where, oh man.
and we have some more time.
Oh, yeah.
To take one more.
Yeah, oh yeah, we have enough time. We do. Here you go.
All right.
Like I was saying,
5
guys,
o'clock, so
Yeah, I told him. He told me that it's 5 o'clock in Germany because they've been to Germany. So it's like,
I think Graham's still.
oh yeah. Look, guys,
Here you go. So
now we're gonna do it together, guys. So
well, to all our serving military members and their families and all our veterans, we appreciate everything you do. Thank you very much. God bless you.
God bless you guys. Cheers. Wow.
Good stuff, bro.
Now the second time is just like you could actually taste it. Like the first time is like, okay, something new.
Right.
It's like everything else. When you buy a different burger, you're like, okay, now I know the taste. It's the same with this. The second time you're like, boop, it hits you. You got all the taste.
Yeah. Right. So yeah. So we were very appreciative of all of our members, family members, and everything they do for us. And my nephew's going back to that. He'll be over there doing his job like always, and we appreciate them.
Yeah, we appreciate everybody that the veterans and everything that is going. I know, like I was saying before, it's some are living on the bridge, and I'm like, that kills me that they fought for their country, and I'm like, I'm always asking myself why, and I always tell people, please don't judge nobody because why would you judge them when the only judge is God or whatever you believe that God is judge? If they're there for a reason, they're I don't mean something bad happened. You don't know what happened.
I have no idea.
You don't have no idea. It's like when me and you are driving and a car passes you fast and you were like, what the, and start cussing. I used to do that. Now I gave up because I'm like, man, you don't ever know. Somebody's sick. They're going fast. Something happened to somebody. You never know. So I stopped giving up on, judging that because I used to judge a lot. And I said, no, that's not my work. That's not my job.
No good can come of it.
No good
can come of it. You got to focus on your attitude. The only you control is your attitude. Good stuff happens to bad people, and you control your attitude.
Yep.
And what happens next is what counts.
Oh, yeah.
What your character determines is what happens next. And that's important.
Heard that? Take that. What your character is what's going to happen next. Everything on you. Don't create a different character. You are your own character. You, through the process, through the changes, you're going to learn more of yourself. I mean, even right now, I'm still learning more of myself. And I know that yourself is still learning more of yourself. It's a never-ending string of that is never going to end, of you learning something new or collaborating or meeting somebody. It's just...
And the fun part about this business is I get to meet some really neat people, too. So, special hello to all my friends at NAS Jacksonville, Naval Air Station. Got a bunch of friends out there. So, hope they're doing well. I know they're really hit hard by the COVID too. So
I know.
Well, they're all working from home, but they're all wonderful people.
Yeah. So shout out to everybody in the world that is watching and that's gonna watch the replay. And if you didn't get to see it, I know it was early in the morning. Some of you are barely waking up right now. It's okay. I mean.
Okay.
All right, guys, something again happened, but it's okay. We're about to finish up right now. So I just want to give them the, and you can give just a little motivation or something inspirational to people that are watching for things that are happening right now. And just push yourself out there. I'm putting right here where your website, but where they can find you, where then we can collaborate.
Great. Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, we're on Instagram, obviously, bigstickspirits.com, Facebook page, Big Stick Spirits. So we post our events on there. We try to do as many events as we can. And going to be expanding into some other cities. Like I said, I got requests from Galveston, from Dallas, from San Antonio, and Austin. We'll be in Austin next week talking to prospective customers.
Ooh, awesome.
So yeah, we're getting there, little by little.
Oh, man, that's awesome. That, it's spreading out, even though all these things are happening. But you putting in the work, other doors are opening.
That's really what it's all about. They see you're serious about business. We're not taking this lightly. We're as serious as anybody else about getting this business going and growing our sales and our markets. So.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Michael P. Ryan. And I love that you were Mike. There he goes, Mike. That's easy. So thank you, Mike, for being here and showing us to the audience. And like I said again, guys, it's not gonna be the first time. We're gonna push out more and help each other more to reach out more of the audiences they want to try out the whiskey, the bourbon whiskey. I mean, or anybody out there that or you own or yourself you own a liquor store. Hey, let us know.
Yeah, we can do more other informational series about how to actually make the whiskey and what goes into it and what the different ingredients are, or whatever people like. Happy to give people advice about what to do or how to do it.
Well, I like that. See, that could be a little event that we can, meet at your house and do some of that stuff. If that's fine with you, and then
or bring in our business partners, ATX.
And oh yeah,
sure.
And bring out and do a little bit of a showdown there, and people like that. I mean, it's not only about the interview, but sometimes it's about after the interview, the little things that happen, and people get involved. And that's what we want: people getting involved, not just us, but people getting involved and giving us the feedback. That's like. As you create the super fans, your fans out there, that they're gonna like you and support you in every single way. Shirts, hats, anything you got, they're gonna support you.
We have really cool shirts.
I know. Look,
They're awesome.
you can't see it, but I'm wearing a shirt.
It's a dry fit shirt, so it's very nice. It's very.
I know. I saw it, and when you gave it to me, I was like, "Whoa, this is different than what I'm wearing." You know, it's like,
we're gonna do it right. We're gonna do it first class.
oh yeah,
Go big or go home. We're not getting cheap T-shirts
Oh.
or like that. And, because even our shot glasses, they're 4 inches tall.
Oh.
So we have a tall shot glass. The big stick, because you gotta have a big stick.
Yeah.
Big shot.
that is cool, man. That you
Shot
has
with a
your
big stick.
own.
So yeah.
I love
So
that.
we're doing all that kind of stuff for fun.
I love that. Thank you guys for showing up today. Thank you guys for being here in the Push Power to Power Show with your host Jesus and my guest Mike. And like I said again, it's not gonna be the last time. And I hope you have a blessed Wednesday. Hey, and keep on pushing and keep on running with it. Don't give up.
God bless.
God bless the military and God bless everybody. All right. Thank you guys.